Welcome to another edition of Coffee with Caprill. By the way, if you're a coffee snob like I am, actually I'm not a snob, I'll drink just about any coffee. But if you do like good coffee, just a little tip, if you have a Fresh Market near you, their coffee is fabulous. Just their name brand coffee, whatever they call it. But you just have to be a little careful because the other day I was driving through Louisville, Kentucky, on my way from Nashville to Cincinnati. And Beth had asked me to pick up coffee for both the apartment as well as the house in Nashville. So she said, get like 10 pounds. I'm like, all right, I'll get 10 pounds. And the problem with that was after I bought the 10 pounds, I realized it was all beans. None of it was ground. And so guess who then went out and bought a grinder? Anyway, it's really great coffee. All right, so today I want to talk to you a little bit about spending. Most of the people that we work with, a very common message that we say to them is, if there's more that you'd like to do in your retirement than you are doing, you can do it. You have more capacity. But that's not always the case. Sometimes I have to give the other message. I have to say, at the rate at which you are spending, well, you could run out. It's not a fun message. I really don't like saying it. And I feel that, to a large extent, I'm the bearer of bad news all the time. And if this doesn't apply to you, then don't worry about it. But here's what I want you to understand. Whenever we're advising clients on spending, we're looking at a lot of factors. We're looking at inflation, which maybe not seem like a lot now, but over time it can be. We're looking at things like taxes. Where's the money going to come from? And yes, we're looking at volatility, but biggest of all, I should say, we're looking at longevity. I don't know how long you're going to live. You don't know how long you're going to live. We have to assume that you're going to live far more than the average person, and that needs to be factored in. We also have to think about stuff that we just don't know for sure, like, for example, what if your healthcare costs were to rise? Will there be money for that? The worst thing that could ever happen to us in advising a client is to see them ignore our advice and run out of money prematurely. I don't want that ever to happen. So if this doesn't apply to you, don't even give it a second thought. But we can all look at how we spend money, and we can all find ways to improve. We all have waste in what we spend. Now, most people in 2020 probably didn't spend nearly the amount of money as they thought they were going to spend, largely because, let's face it, you couldn't do much. And even though you may be able to do stuff now, maybe you don't want to. But it's never a bad idea to take a look at where your money is going. Take a look at your credit card statements, take a look at your checking account, just take a look at your bills. Ask yourself, do I need all these things? I'll give you a great example was cable TV. So a few years ago, I gave up cable for streaming because instead of paying $120 to Time Warner, whoever my cable provider was, couldn't even tell you at the time, I could pay $40 to YouTube and stream the TV on the internet. It wasn't perfect. It's come a long way, but it was $40 versus $120. Now, what's interesting is that it's now up to about $65 a month. Yeah, you see it. YouTube figured out that, we really can't go in that low. So I'm going to reassess. I'm going to look at other providers that are out there to see what difference I can make. So there's always little opportunities there. I don't want you to live a life more frugally than you have to, but I don't want you to waste money. Now, if you have any questions about that, especially if you have any questions about budgeting, feel free to reach out to Nikki and I, schedule a 15-minute call. We'll be more than happy to go over it with you. Have a great week, and remember, Fresh Market Coffee, it's definitely worth checking out.